All right, let's talk about something huge in the Azure world. We're diving into a decision that can literally make or break your entire cloud setup, choosing the right network foundation. Seriously, get this wrong and you are signing up for a world of pain down the road. So, let's make sure you get it right from the very beginning.
So, if you're starting a new project in Azure, you have probably been in this exact spot. The whole team's gathered around a whiteboard, maybe a virtual one, debating these two massive options: the classic hub and spoke model, or the newer, shinier Azure Virtual WAN. It is a super common crossroads, and honestly, for very good reason.
And this isn't just a technical detail, right? Getting this choice wrong, man, it leads to some major headaches. We're talking costly redesigns, terrible performance, and a network that just buckles under pressure. But hey, don't worry. By the end of this, you are going to have a super simple framework to make the right call every single time. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, let's start with a really simple analogy. It's one that just cuts right through all the technical jargon. Just think of your network architecture as a transportation system for all your data.
So on one hand, you've got Hub-Spoke. Think of this like you're building your own city road system. You have total control. You lay every single road, you place every traffic light. It's perfect for managing traffic in one specific area, right? Now, Virtual WAN, or vWAN, that's totally different. That's like plugging into a ready-made global highway system. You don't build the highway, you just build the on-ramps. It's made for super high-speed, long-distance travel between a whole bunch of different cities. So keep that city versus highway idea in your head as we dig in.
All right, let's dive into path number one, the classic, the time-tested hub and spoke model. This has been the go-to approach for years, and for a pretty good reason. So when is this city road system the right move? Well, it really shines in those smaller to medium-sized setups, especially when you're mostly focused on a single Azure region. If you've got, say, a handful of virtual networks or VNets, and you need absolute fine-grained control over every single security rule, Hub-Spoke is going to be your best friend.
And the concept, it's actually beautifully simple. You've got this central hub virtual network. This is where you stick all your shared stuff, things like your Azure firewall, your VPN gateways, maybe your domain controllers. Then you connect all your separate application environments, the spokes, directly to this hub. All the traffic has to flow through that central point where you can inspect it and manage it. Simple.
Let's put this in the real world. Imagine a mid-sized company, maybe a retailer, and all their operations are in just one country. Their inventory system, their sales apps, their customer data, it all lives in a single Azure region. They need one central place to manage security and connect back to their headquarters. Well, Hub and Spoke gives them that exact, precise control without adding a ton of complexity they just don't need. Okay, so that's path number one. Now for the second path. Let's talk about that global highway system, Azure Virtual WAN, or as you'll hear it, vWAN. This is Microsoft's answer to a completely different scale of problem. vWAN is really built for those large, sprawling organizations. Think about companies with a footprint across multiple Azure regions or even all over the globe. If you need to connect hundreds of branch offices, data centers, and VNets together seamlessly, and honestly, you'd rather just let Microsoft handle the nitty-gritty complexity, this is exactly where vWAN excels. The key phrase here, and you gotta remember this, is managed service. With vWAN, Microsoft is handling all that complex routing for you. You don't have to sit there and manually configure every single network connection. It gives you true any-to-any connectivity. What does that mean? It means a virtual network in North America can talk to a branch office in Europe, and you didn't have to build that connection piece by painful piece. Think about a huge multinational manufacturing company. They've got factories in Asia, design centers over in Europe, and their headquarters in the US. All of these different locations, both on-premises and in Azure, they all need to talk to each other securely. vWAN becomes that perfect global backbone, stitching their entire operation together. Okay, so we've seen the two paths. Now let's really put them head-to-head. Let's put them side by side so you can really see the trade-offs you're making. All right, let's break this down. First, scalability. Hub-Spoke is awesome regionally, but honestly, it becomes a real headache to manage when you go global. vWAN, on the other hand, is built for massive, global scale right from day one. Next, complexity. A basic Hub-Spoke, super simple, but start adding more and more connections and suddenly you're managing this tangled mess of routes. vWAN just hides that complexity from you. And that brings us to management effort. With Hub-Spoke, you own everything. You build it, you run it. With vWAN, Microsoft manages that core network for you. Big difference. Now the big question, what about the cost?
So as you can see here, Hub-Spoke often has a lower starting price. That makes sense, right? You're just paying for the basic components. Virtual WAN, yeah, it has a higher entry cost because it's a full-on managed service with a lot built in. But, and this is the key takeaway, while vWAN looks more expensive at first, it often becomes cheaper at a global scale. Why? Because you have to factor in the cost of your team's time spent trying to manage a super complex worldwide network all by yourselves.
Okay, with all of that in mind, how do you actually make the call? Let's build a simple, actionable decision map that'll guide you right to the answer. So this is the moment of truth, right? Let's filter out all the noise and focus on the really important questions you need to be asking your team.
Okay, this table makes it about as simple as it gets. Rule 1. If your absolute top priority is total control inside one single region, then you're going to choose Hub-Spoke. Rule 2. If you're operating across multiple regions or you're a global company, then you need to lean heavily towards virtual WAN. Rule 3. If you have a team that really loves a hands-on, do-it-yourself approach to networking, then Hub-Spoke is probably their jam. And finally, if you just want to make global networking simple and get on with your life, then virtual WAN is the clear, obvious winner.
Now, knowing the right path is half the battle. So let's quickly go over a few common mistakes, a few pitfalls that can totally derail your project, even when you have the best intentions.
First off, please don't use VPN for a small single-region setup. It's like using a massive cargo plane to deliver a pizza across the street. It's just expensive overkill. Second, don't try to stretch a hub-spoke model across the entire globe. You'll just end up building this incredibly complex web of connections that becomes an absolute nightmare to manage. And maybe the biggest mistake of all, ignoring the future. Don't just build for where your company is today. Build for where you'll be in 3 years.
And hey, as a little bonus, this is a very common question in cloud architect interviews. So let's get you armed and ready with the perfect, concise answer.
Here it is, short and sweet. You choose Hub-Spoke for controlled, single-region deployments. You opt for virtual WAN for large-scale global connectivity that requires a simplified managed solution. That's it. That one sentence shows you completely get the fundamental trade-off. It proves you know how to match the right tool to the right business problem.
And, that really brings us to the most important question of all. This decision, it's not just about connecting a few servers. It's about laying the foundation for your entire cloud journey. So you have to ask yourself, are you building for today or are you building for tomorrow?
Well, I really hope this helped clear up the whole Hub-Spoke versus virtual WAN debate for you. If it did, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. And now I want to hear from you. What Azure problem are you stuck on right now? Drop it in the comments below, and who knows, it might just be our next topic. Thanks so much for watching.